I'm passionate about manufacturing, about the good quality jobs manufacturing brings to our communities. But what I am also passionate about is that this body needs to stop manufacturing crises. What we just heard in the last few minutes was an exchange between my friend, the senator from Tennessee, and two of his colleagues, the senators from Texas and Utah, that summarized that what's happened in this chamber today is the extension of a manufactured crisis, a purely artificial extension that is continuing, as the senator from Illinois said at great detail and with great insight, to put at risk our recovering economy, our men and women at arms, our nation's standing in the world. This is a wholly manufactured crisis without purpose. It seems to me in the 3 years that I've been here in the Senate, it feels an awful lot like Groundhog Day. I was sitting in that very chair presiding over this body as we were closing in on a government shutdown when I'd only been here a few months. And I've never forgotten getting a message from a constituent at home. Her husband was at that very moment serving our nation, flying medevac missions in Afghanistan. And I got a simple note. Is it possible that because you all can't do your jobs, that my husband and I won't be getting a paycheck next week while he does his job for our nation overseas? We have, in the 3 years I've been here, seen needless fights, a near default on our nation's debt, a near defunding of our federal government's operation, and today we see not a difference of meaning, but a difference purely of substance and style, purely of superficial style. As the senator from Tennessee pointed out, the objection to the majority leader's request that we proceed now to a vote was purely for the convenience of two senators who have sent out a lot of press releases and who want more attention. Madam President, we can't continue to play chicken with the American people, the American economy, and continuing the services of the federal government. Now, I know my colleague, the senator from Louisiana, who is one of the leaders on the Appropriations Committee, is here to offer some insight and some comments about the value of appropriations, about the great work that our chair, Senator Mikulski, has led us in this year. There are so many other ways that this manufactured crisis is just the latest in a series of disappointing failures to lead by a few of our colleagues. The chair has allowed us to go through subcommittee markups and full committee markups on 11 appropriation subcommittee bills. And if those bills could be taken up and passed on this floor, we could fix a lot of the things that challenge our nation. And I'd like to yield the floor, if I might, to the senator from Louisiana so she might inform this body about some of the important work that she and her subcommittee on the Appropriations Committee, on which I'm honored to serve, has been able to do this year. That's absolutely my understanding. And Madam President, one of the things that my friend, the senator from Louisiana, knows better than any is that the role of the Appropriations Committee and its subcommittees is to perform oversight, is to weed through programs in the federal government and to strengthen and support those that are effective and are making a difference, but to narrow or shut down or trim or close those that aren't. And if we continue to lurch from crisis to crisis, from short-term continuing resolution to continuing resolution, we never get that good work done. So, Madam President, I'd welcome any further comments that my colleague would like to make about what the Homeland Security Subcommittee of Appropriations has made possible and why that matters, what difference that makes to the people of Louisiana and of our country. I'd like to thank the senator from Louisiana for her leadership of the Homeland Security Subcommittee of Appropriations. You just heard in detail a description of how she has worked in a bipartisan, thoughtful, and a detailed and decent way, in a way that crafted a bill where there was compromise, where there was give and take, and where ultimately the bill that's moved through that subcommittee and the full committee and should be ready for action on this floor meets the real needs of our nation, of our homeland, and provides resources and support, whether for the state of Colorado, the state of Minnesota, the state of Delaware, all over this country. And shutting this government down over a needless manufactured crisis between now and Monday is the height of irresponsibility. So, Madam President, if I might, I'd like to yield, if I could, to the senator from Colorado.
Senator Klobuchar, who's here from Minnesota, was a district attorney, and I think every one of us are completely perplexed by the hostage-taking that's going on around this place. So I'd ask the senator from Delaware, you were the county executive of a county in Delaware, weren't you?
I was.
And I say through the chair, do you think that any county executive or mayor or local official in your state could go very far? Well, let me put it this way. Wouldn't be run out of town if they threaten the credit rating of their community for politics?
Absolutely not. And I might just say to my friend from Colorado, I had direct experience with this. In the state of Delaware, folks expect us to balance our budgets and to pass them on time and to deliver good services, but also to defend our credit ratings. And the city and the county and the state in which I lived and served all enjoyed AAA credit ratings. And folks in my community understood what that meant, that meant we could borrow money for building sewers, building roads, building schools less expensively, and sustain the quality of our community. Yeah. And our business leaders and our civic leaders understood that to put that at risk was reckless and irresponsible, yet for a manufactured crisis by a few senators. We are facing the shutdown of this federal government a few days from now, and I'm afraid just a few weeks later, the possible default on the sovereign debt of the United States. No one, no responsible elected official where I'm from would do that.